Hi, everybody. This is going to be a short lecture today because in our Tuesday lecture, we went over the Tolman schema, and you are now busy applying the schema to the articles on the potentialities of CalExit and their plausibility. And so I'm going to let you dive into that, attempt to kind of navigate the schematic, the Tolman schematic structure as a way to elicit kind of a clear understanding of an argument in an article, which of course will then translate into how you begin to fashion more sound and logical arguments in the future. And we will practice the Tolman schema again. But for today, I want to devote just a couple minutes to encouragement for the documentary news story, knowing full well that this is, or it might feel like a more meaty project, right? Because you are implementing media technologies as a way to organize initial denotative research that you do in order to begin to coalesce this guiding question that might be kind of sifting and emerging in your mind and in your research, etc., etc. Part of the methodology of developing a good, sound research question that eventually will become the project that you commit to for the paper. So I know I've already mentioned, and I'm sure you've already seen, all of the resources and tools that I've provided you on Camino on how to make a podcast or how to use video for a documentary. And obviously, you're limited in the fact that you can't really go around and do a lot of original material. And remember that the point of this assignment is to utilize kind of the templates of narrative and of essay that we already are encountering quite often, right? In the forms of podcasts and mini films and things of that nature, utilizing these structures that we already are familiar with and applying them to our own research so that we can begin to see what it is that fascinates us. So keep that in mind, that this is a tool. I know that we, of course, always want to produce our best work, right? And certainly do your best at making this documentary news story something that you're proud of. But remember that what this assignment truly is attempting to do is have you organize your initial research into something that has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? So remember, the beginning is these initial questions that arise that inspire you to do the research, and then you are, in this documentary news story, assembling that research into something that is cogent and developmental. And then at the end, having more specific and attenuated questions that might be what inspires you to research further and becomes the true project that eventually turns into your argument for your the paper. Okay, that is what we're doing. Have fun with it. Yeah, we are here to take our research and to lay it over these structural templates that we're already familiar with, and hopefully that accesses something in you as a designer of information. That is our goal. And this, of course, is due on Sunday. So I didn't want to saddle you with too much else because you need to be doing that research. Now, remember, the research is informational. This is an investigative journalist piece, if you will. And so no argument on your part. You can certainly have argumentative information, argumentative sources in the presentation of your documentary news story, but it is not to be your argument. You would be like, according to Joe Blow or according to Jill Blow, especially if you wanted to present alternative arguments or contrasting arguments within the presentation of your work. But by no means should you betray your own bias. Okay. So again, you can have argumentative source that you're reporting on, but by no means you adopt any argument yourself as the author. Okay? And then, of course, largely you just get as much information as possible so that you're asking the most kind of compelling questions at the end. Okay? Have fun with this. Fun. This is something that could be a blast if you don't think of it as like, oh, another assignment, but instead it becomes part of this authentic investigation that going down. You all have with wonderful subject matter so far. So trust in the process. Let yourself go deeper in that rabbit hole. Again, if you change your mind midway through this week, so be it. That's all part of the research. We veer and we shift and we change based on the information that we encounter, right? It's like a road trip. Sometimes you come to a road closure and you can't go further with your intention. So you take a detour, or you see something off of the side of another road in the distance and you're like, let's do that. So that is part of the journey. Embrace it. Have fun. If you have any questions, again, you're welcome to use me as a resource. I am familiar with GarageBand, which is typically used for podcasts. I am familiar with iMovie, which is a very user-friendly video editing program. And I'm even familiar with Final Cut Pro if you wanted to get real fancy. Or maybe you already have skill in these media technologies, and it gives you a chance to kind of sharpen your chops and have a good time. No matter what, I'm here for you. If you have any questions, okay, just contact me. I'm just trying on wigs. Have a wonderful rest of the week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.